All right, now that we've got GitHub Desktop installed and we've got Visual Studio set up, Visual Studio Code set up, and we've got, what else did we do? Oh yeah, a GitHub account, we created our template. Now we're gonna actually say what's my workflow? How do I set it up so that everything's synchronized nicely between GitHub and my local files? So we're going to begin, where are we gonna begin? We're actually gonna begin in GitHub. Okay, we're going to start off in the web here because that's where my template is. So my template's right here. So I'm going to click on that. So I'm logged into GitHub. I go to my template. And I'm going to say I'm going to use this template. Okay, and I'm going to create a new repository. And again, make sure you are, see the default is my root user, but I want to put it into my organization that I created. And you put it wherever you want to put it, but I'm going to put it in my organization. And I'm going to call this, I'm going to make a simple addition, that's not good, simple addition calculator. All right, and just a simple JS addition calculator demo. This is optional, but whatever, description's often good. You can choose to make it private or public. If you want to share this code with me eventually, you can make it public and you just share the link with me. If you make it private, you can still share it with me, but you have to add me as a collaborator to the repository. So we'll do it as private. And we're going to create repository from template. Okay, so now it generated it from that template that we had. And it's now got the wonderful files from that template. Okay, now here's the next step. And actually, I'm going to close GitHub Desktop for a second here. And I don't need this anymore. I'm just going to close that. Okay, so we're now on GitHub. We've created our new project on GitHub, but it's just the template files. We want to be able to edit it, and we want to be able to work with it on our local computer. So if you go to the code button here, you can say open with GitHub Desktop. Ta-da! And it says, do you want to? Yes, we want to. And it should launch GitHub Desktop, and the default is to clone this repository, right? So the repository that we're cloning is the one we just created, this addition calculator, right? Simple addition calculator. So this is the URL of what's on GitHub, and this is the local path. Where do I want to save it on my local file? So I'm going to choose, I'm going to go to my desktop, CS20, and actually, I'm going to stop here. I want to save it into the CS20, right? Because that's where I'm going to put each of my repositories. Okay, so click that, select folder. So desktop CS20 simple addition calculator is where it's going to be saved to. And I hit clone. So now hopefully what will happen, okay, the current repository is my simple addition calculator. Remember, I can check what account I'm in. I'm in my fake student account. That's good. And now if I go back to here to my desktop, CS20, you'll see it created the simple addition calculator with the code inside of it. And it has this .git. Now you might not see that. If you go to view, you can see hidden items. The .git is basically there. It's keeping track of your version control and everything that's been changed. So we need that there. That's important. So what's cool with this now is I can just, right from GitHub Desktop, you can select what your editor is in options, but my default editor is Visual Studio Code, and I can say open in Visual Studio Code. So it'll, yes, I trust the authors, and it opens this as my project folder in Visual Studio Code. Right, so now I can make changes here. I can change my title, addition calc. My page title here will say simple addition calculator. I don't need this lorem stuff, but this is my template that I started. Right now, everything's linked, the style sheet, the main.js, it's all set up. I can just start typing things in. So I'm gonna get my input elements here. I can do these on one line. We'll go number 1. And then an input element of type number. I'm going to give it an ID of num1. Copy and paste. Number 2, ID of num2. create a paragraph with a button in it, calculate, we'll give this button an ID of BTN, I'll have another paragraph, the total is, and I'll make a span tag, put some dashes in there as placeholders, ID equals output. Or, well, maybe we'll just call it total, sure. All right, so now I'm going to save this. I'm going to go live. Right, and awesome. It shows my simple calculator. I like to inspect just in case there's any errors. It says hi because my JS is running. And I can keep writing code here. But my HTML is done, or I can change my style sheet, but I don't care about that too much right now. What I want you to notice right now, though, is that we've made changes on our local files. Right, we've been working in VS Code, changing these files here. If I go to GitHub, where'd GitHub go? If I go to GitHub, and if I click on index.html, you can preview what's inside here. None of those changes are there yet. Okay, because I've just made changes on the local files. But if I go to GitHub Desktop now, it'll recognize, hey, you've changed this file. You got rid of this and changed this and made these awesome changes. So it gives us this we can call this whatever we want, but just update index.html. I'm going to say added HTML content. And I hit commit to main. So that's now a commit. It shows me my history, my initial commit, and then I added this HTML content. It keeps a history of all the changes that have been made. Okay? This is still only on my local computer. What I need to do now is push origin. You can click here or here. And this is now going to commit to GitHub. So as soon as I do that, no local changes, done. Okay, awesome. So I go back to here. I'm going to hit refresh here. See, index.html now 30 seconds ago added HTML content. If I go inside here now, it's got the changes that I made. All right, as simple as that. I can make some more changes. Let's go to my main.js. And inside of here, I'm going to do my title, simple addition calculator by Mr. V. We're going to add an event listener to the button. So we do documents.getElementById btn .add event listener, click. Calc total will be the name of a function. Here's my event function called calc total. Spell it right. Ah, there it is. Right? Because this event listener says when I click this button, find this function, right? This is the function name. Here's the function name. And what is this function going to do? It's going to do input. It's going to process, and it's going to output. So let num1 be assigned documents.getElementById num1.value. And we got to remember to convert this. This always returns a string. We got to put a plus sign in front to convert it to a number. Copy and paste. Num2 is going to be the element with the ID num2. Get its value. Those are my inputs. Let total be assigned num1 plus num2. And then I'm going to do document.getElementById. I love this autocomplete. Total was that name of the span. And we're going to set its inner HTML to be whatever's inside of this total variable. So this total is different. This is a string. It's the name of the ID. This total is a JavaScript variable. It's storing the result of this calculation. Yay, I save that. I go back to here. I should now be able to type things into here and get the total. Yay, 65. Okay, simple IPO calculator. Cool. Now again, all of these changes, my main.js, I go here and it says, hey, you've changed main.js. This time I'll leave the default update main.js. I say commit to main, and I go push origin. As easy as that. You just have to remember to go to GitHub Desktop, commit, push, and now I go back to here, right? Update main.js 14 seconds ago, and it's updated my code here. Super cool. Okay, so as simple as that, right? You just make your changes here, go to GitHub Desktop, commit your changes, push the changes to GitHub, and it synchronizes any changes. And it works both ways too. So imagine, sorry, let's go back to here. I can actually edit this online, but let's imagine I cloned this repository to my computer at home, right? I opened it with GitHub Desktop on my computer at home and I made some changes. And when I get back to work, I want to update those changes. So let's make those changes. I'm going to edit this. I'm just going to make this all caps. Simple addition calculator. Okay. All caps heading, sure. So we say commit changes. Awesome. Okay, so changes have been made. Hooray. Now watch this. I'm going to go back to GitHub Desktop. And GitHub Desktop isn't doing anything. Shucks. Okay. Well, I think this fetch origin doesn't happen all the time. But if I click this now, it'll check. And it'll say, oh, hey, there is something new. I'm going to pull from the origin, right? From the remote origin on GitHub, there's some changes. So instead of pushing to GitHub, we're going to pull from GitHub to the local repository, right? Because this still has the lowercase. So that fetch basically just says, hey, let's check if there's any changes that need to be done. And then we can pull those changes. It's updated it now. I go back to here, and now it's all caps. Okay, so it synchronizes both ways. All right, so that is your basic workflow. I think we'll do maybe one more. I'm going to stop this video now, but in the next video, maybe we'll do another demo of how to start a new project and make something. So, all right, hopefully that made sense. Take care, and we'll see you next video.